Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to today's live level up conversation. Whether you're tuning in live with me right here or catching me on replay, it's so great to have this Wednesday with you. Happy Wednesday. Let's dive right in.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Market update. Speed round. Award-winning financial pro. And now, get ready. I present to you Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hello, Wednesday. Wow, the Wednesday before Labor Day, and of course, before our tweet chat, which will be here in about an hour. Welcome to the show. For those of you who are brand new, hello, I'm Winnie Sun, your host, an award winning financial pro, a Forbes contributor, and a CNBC council member. And most importantly, just happy to be here with you. We're streaming live on about half a dozen social media platforms. So jump in. Take a moment to introduce yourself. Let me know how you're doing. And if you own your business, feel free to tell me what business you own as well. We might also let you plug that today. I mean, Wednesday, why not? It's the middle of the week. These are fun times ahead. I see Vicky Garvey jumping in on Facebook Live. Thank you so much, Vicky, for joining us. I think you're going to really like today's episode, Vicky. Um, I have something special planned for us. Let's just say you probably saw in the title already, but today is one of my favorite hobbies to do. So we're going to go and deep dive into that. But before we do, you know how it starts. We want to talk about how the market's doing currently. So currently the Dow is up 66 points. NASDAQ is up 87 and the S&P 500 also up 21 points. So triple update once again. Let's hope that continues. Yeah. It's been a good week so far. It's only Wednesday, so we'll take it. We've been seeing some really nice positive numbers this week so far. Nasdaq is sort of rebounding with this tech rally. In fact, the Nasdaq has climbed over 1% today already, with many of those tech names that you know and are familiar with experiencing the rally. Investors are kind of coming back to the tech sector after a pretty challenging August. But can you believe Friday is going to be September? So new month, new market, who knows? But we'll take the positivity on any day that we can and take it. So the Nasdaq Composite surged over 1.7% yesterday. S&P 500 also up 1.4%, over 1.4% yesterday, and the Dow also up about over 0.8% as well. So we are seeing some positivity today. You know, a lot of people are paying attention to the space of AI and of course chips. Many of the social media platforms, some of the car manufacturing companies, the EV car companies, and a lot of the other big tech names that you're familiar with. So market's not closed yet. We'll go ahead and check again before we end the show. But one thing that I really wanted to talk about today as we drum into Labor Day weekend is this. Like, first off, if you're joining me live, I want to ask you, what are you doing Labor Day weekend? If you're here in the United States, we have a 3-day weekend. So Monday is official holiday. I know a lot of people have been doing some retail shopping. For those with kids like myself, it's going to mean a 3-day weekend with them, which is always a treat. I don't take those for granted because, you know, kids grow up so quickly. Soon they'll be out of the house. So I love it. I love it when I get some more time with them. But before we get there, I want to share with you some of the things that we're going to be looking forward to as we jump into September. One of the things that I'm looking forward to, and maybe you are as well, I know Vicky probably is Apple is going to have an upcoming launch. So they're already sending invites out for the September 12th launch event. So this is usually when they announce the new iPhone. I guess this will be the iPhone 15, maybe new Apple watches, and there's talk about like changing that charging port to a USB-C and other titanium materials. So we'll see how that goes. So lots to look forward to in September. But before we get there, let's talk about what you're going to do this weekend. Now, I will share with you that we are sort of doing a staycation. So we're going to just kind of hang out around here, but we're going to really spend some time with the family and, my kids have a sporting event to go to as well. So it's going to be a busy weekend. But for some of you, this might mean some last minute travel. Now, for those of you who've been on the show before, you know that one of my biggest hobbies is, of course, travel, which I call AKA making memories with the people that I love, right? So, you might be saying, wow, when it was a 3 day weekend, it's a big holiday weekend. It's so short, it's like literally like 2 days away. Are there ways that I could still get away or do something special or do a little mini vacation and still like not break the bank? Well, I'm here for you because I did some research and I have some really, really fun deals I'm going to share at the end of the program. But here are some of the best tips that I have to share with you. Many of my friends are big travel bloggers and reporters and have written for some of the biggest publications in this space. And I've kind of collected some of this through the years from them, as well as the other things that we've read along the way. So, first things first, if you're looking to plan a mini getaway this weekend, breathe. You actually can. There are some things I'm going to show you that if you wanted to take your loved ones away or, make a quick road trip, these are some tips that'll help you not break the bank. First things first is, of course, to get real with your situation. This might not be the least expensive vacation, but it's Labor Day weekend. So it's reasonable to assume that it's not going to be super cheap. But if there's something that you wanted to do, or you just want to like get some fresh air and you want to reset, recharge, there's a lot of options out there. This might not be your ultimate bucket list destination, but that is okay. Flexibility is key. That's probably the best way to save money, especially when you're doing last minute travel. Flexibility, and just look for something that's fun and be open to bargains that might be available to you. Now, first things first, if you're going to fly, what are some places that you want to go to get the best flight deal? Now, you've probably heard about Google Flights. I'm going to get to that in more detail. Google Flights is probably my favorite one, but there's going to be some airlines that don't present themselves prominently on Google Flights that you're going to want to go to their website to see if there's another option. For example, Southwest Airlines is a more cost-effective airline that a lot of families use. You really have to go to their website in addition to Google Flights if you want to really price compare with them. There's also Skyscanner, and there's also another app called Fairness. And I would just say that I love places like Flyer Talk and also reading some of the blogs such as Bougie Miles, and you all heard of places like the Points Guy, but Jason Steele also does a great job. Money and Travel, money.com travel. CNBC does a wonderful job with that too. So I would try to keep some of those on your radar as well. The other thing that people forget sometimes is when you're searching some of these websites, instead of just picking a specific place, let's say you're like, okay, I want to go to California, or I want to go to New York, you can actually search for the entire state, or you can even search for anywhere or everywhere. And these sort of magical terms will give you flights without you committing to a specific destination. And I always think that's kind of fun, especially if there's maybe just the two of you or only one of you and you have a lot more flexibility. Try a new venture. It might surprise you. The other thing you want to do is check out a lot of different websites now. They have these package deals. Now, the typical airlines, a lot of airlines have package deals, but you can also find a lot of package deals that are shared on places such as slickdeals.net, on even Google it and Google News, even on Twitter, which is now X, or you can check out websites such as Adventure with Kayak or Orbitz. But yeah, so take a look at those. And one I'll share with you that one of my favorite places to go is Travel Zoo. Travel Zoo actually publishes a weekly list of I think the top 10 deals, travel deals that they've curated. So that's kind of fun too. Now, I will say that I feel like I'm going to give you some even better deals today, but you'll see. You'll be the judge of that. All right. And in terms of where to stay, right, in terms of hotels. Now, my favorite way of booking travel is with points and miles. And of course, if you do points and miles, you probably know there's quite a few options, right? For example, Chase, you can transfer Chase points to Hyatt. That's one of my favorite things to do. You can also book on Hilton, Marriott. A lot of these bigger hotel chains have really robust points, miles, and loyalty programs. But let's say you don't have that, right? Which is the majority of people that I meet now. Where can you go? Well, certainly I would always compare the actual hotel website itself, price wise, to some of these other larger websites such as TripAdvisor or Hotel Tonight or Hotwire or Expedia, right? You want to compare and see which one is a better deal. The other thing you want to do is, of course, you can always call the hotel and see if they have any special deals. But if you're booking last minute, a lot of hotels have empty rooms. And I would say that you could even look at maybe a hotel in a vicinity that you never considered. I'll give you an example. There was one time I booked a five-star hotel, really literally the day before or the morning of. And this place is normally booked solid for like 6 months prior. But there was a last minute cancellation. I was able to get in and I was actually able to use my points, which is kind of hard when you're booking last minute. So always know that just because it's last minute doesn't mean that you're going to get a crazy expensive, you know, price. You could actually get a really good deal. So if you're flexible, jump online the day before. I actually booked us a Sedona, Arizona trip, which if you ever been to Sedona, it is so beautiful. And I feel like it nurtures your soul. You feel so much better going to Sedona. But I booked a very hard to get into hotel literally the morning before we took off. And it was kind of crazy. It was like a 6 or 7 hour drive, but I found it in the morning. I'm like, hey, I told my husband, do you want to just go? And he's like, okay, let's go. So we literally packed the kids, got luggage done really, really quickly, and we just took off. It was crazy. But yes, so that's what I would say. There's a lot of really fun places. Now, if you're looking for camping, you can also look at some fun places like Hip Camp. They have some really cool options. Even Airbnb now has fun like camping experiences. Tenter, which is TENTRR, is one too. And of course, don't forget to check out recreation.gov, which is through the United States National Parks Group. And that sometimes people cancel last minute on those as well. And so it doesn't hurt to see if there's an option there. And if you're, you're open, you have your tent ready and you have a cooler, just be flexible. You can probably get groceries on the way there. It could be really, really fun. But yeah, so I would just say keep an open mind. And I've got some really great deals I'm going to share with you at the end of the program. So stick with me. But speaking of travel, of course, I couldn't do a business show without giving you some business news. Well, American Airlines has just been fined over $4 million for tarmac delays. That's right. So the U.S. Department of Transportation, or DOT, I actually really like DOT now because I feel like they're really making sure that these airlines take better care of their passengers, aka their customers. Well, the Department of Transportation is fining American Airlines of $4.1 million for numerous instances of extended tarmac delays. That's right. This is actually the largest fine against an airline in history since the implementation of rules on tarmac delays. Yeah, around a decade ago. So that gives you an idea. So in the last 10 years, right? So here's the deal. American Airlines actually has to pay half of the fine within the next 30 days. And the rest, the other half, which is approximately $2 million, is going to be credited for compensation provided to those affected passengers. Now, this is like long delays and really a really big impact on passengers if you flew between 2018 and 2021. Let me just say that during those years, I flew American Airlines a ton. So American Airlines actually kept 43 domestic flights grounded for over 3 hours, which affected over 5,800 passengers. In fact, these passengers weren't even given the opportunity to deplane. So they were actually stuck on the plane for over 3 hours, which that's crazy. That's just crazy. Now, they're saying that there are some exceptions that exist for airlines in certain cases so they don't get fined. Now, this is because of safety concerns, but in these cases for American Airlines, none of that applied. So, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is saying that, they have to make sure that these rules are enforced and that airlines are, held accountable and that consumers can trust and feel comfortable when they fly. So, American Airlines says, okay, they're gonna learn from this. They definitely said they're gonna make better for this, and we'll see. I'm actually looking forward to, because to be honest with you, I find American Airlines. My experience is that she's been quite positive, and I absolutely love communicating with them via Twitter, which is now X, because I feel like they actually delight me. Believe it or not, American Airlines via direct messaging, via Twitter, which is X, is actually delightful. Yes, that is true. I know Vicky's saying this is crazy. It really is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. And speaking of which, if you're flying and you're like going on a trip soon, some of the biggest delays that have happened for Airlines were through Dallas Fort Worth, which is sort of their main hub. So, and a lot of those delays happen in San Antonio and Houston, Texas as well, due to diversions from flights that were bound for Dallas Fort Worth. So many of these delays, they said, were linked to thunderstorms and which hinder the airline's gate management for deplaning. So I guess what can you learn from that? Maybe if you're going to a wedding or something you absolutely can't be late for, maybe you look for connecting not through Dallas, Texas. I don't know. Just putting it out there. And with that, this is another thing that I think you definitely want to have on your radar, which I'm excited about, because this makes my shopping financial heart very, it makes me sing a little bit, because Google Flights is doing an upgrade. So now you can have more insights on your bookings. I love this. Google Flights is going to be rolling out a new feature that's going to make booking your flights, they say, even smarter. So what they are doing to up their game is they're not going to give you the historical trend data to help you decide the perfect time to actually book your flights. So they're going to help you make these decisions a little bit easier, because you know how when you book a flight, you're like, oh, what if it goes down cheaper? Like maybe I should just wait to book it. Or like, oh, I should have booked it 3 months ago because it was probably cheaper, but I don't know. Well, now you will know this data. If you're curious about when you should book, now or later for better prices, Google is going to give you a lot of data to help you make that decision, a more informed purchase on your next flight. In fact, they even show that prices will tend to drop closer to your departure date in some cases. So this empowers you to make the best choice for your budget and, of course, your travel wallet. This feature is going to include a whole bunch of tools. They're not only going to show you current prices, they're going to tell you whether it's low, typical, or high compared to past averages. And also, you can actually set up a price tracking feature, and you turn it on so that you actually receive a notification when flight prices make a significant drop in your selected dates, or if you're flexible, that too. Now, this isn't completely new. I've seen this with other websites as well. But one thing that I think is new is they're now even going to offer you certain what they call price guarantee badges on some of their flights. And what that means is Google is so confident that if you book that particular flight and if that fare drops further, they will actually, because you're using their analytics and Google tools, if the price actually goes lower, Google will pay and refund you the difference on your flight. Isn't that cool? I thought that was super cool. I mean, Google can afford it, then you don't have to afford it, right? But did you know that, like for Christmas flights, for example, as we go into the end of the year, that the best prices are normally found around 71 days before departure? And if you're planning to go see Vicky in Europe, or planning to go from the US to Europe, the magic booking number is typically around 72 days prior to the day that you take off. Yeah. So I found that was really interesting. And that's from Google Analytics as well. But if those are different ways, but I think Google Flights is something you definitely want to earmark if you're going to be planning your next flight. I would definitely book that on your travel browser so that you don't forget that. All right. Now, this is segueing over to another thing that I want to share with you that I found online that I thought was just so much fun. This was first shared on CNBC. Now, when you're looking for that unique travel experience, some of you might be like, oh, maybe I'll go horseback riding. Maybe I'll go to the beach and go snorkeling. Well, what about this? This was shared on CNBC. This is something that you can book on Airbnb, not just a room, but get this, an entire baseball stadium turned into an Airbnb. So you could actually have like the truly home run experience, excuse the pun. Now, if you have a baseball lover at home, or even if you don't have a baseball lover, or you just like to have a lot of space and have that really cool experience, I can actually see people getting proposing at this venue because this is so cool. So this is a really unique experience. This is the Pensacola Blue Wahoos Stadium. Now, since 2020, this team, which is a double A baseball team, they've decided that they are now listing their entire baseball stadium on Airbnb. Now, unlike exclusive celebrity listings, this one's actually available for anybody who wants this experience and is willing to pay for it. And so a stay at the Blue Wahoo Stadium goes for a hefty price of about 5,143 a night. But wait, this includes sleeping in a room equipped with 2 queen beds and 4 bunk beds. 4 bunk beds. So that's like what? That's like 8 at least, right? That you can fit. But that's not all. You also get unlimited access to their ballpark. So if you've always wanted just to have your entire stadium, if you wanted to like literally practice like batting practice, playing catch on the field, even taking a swing, talk about the Instagram social media like content you can create. This could be super fun. You could even hang out at their clubhouse. This is where the team's clubhouse is. You can lounge in this space. They have TVs and couches, ping pong tables, even, I guess, fancy padded chairs that are really designed for ball players. So this is that fully immersive, truly once in a lifetime, maybe very, very unique experience into the world of baseball. In addition, you do get the whole stadium with your rental. So that includes a 5,000 seat stadium, which was constructed in 2012. And this was sort of created for the minor leagues. And it's actually one of the most popular stadiums for the minor leagues. So if you have a baseball fan, I feel like this is sort of a no-brainer. If you can afford it, maybe something to save up to. I guess they have 36 reviews on Airbnb. I did take a look at it. And if you take a look at it, they actually have a 5-star rating as host. So people have really, really enjoyed this adventure. I don't know, Vicky. It sounds like if you're coming across the pond, might be something that you're going to rent for you and I guess a whole bunch of friends, right? Yep, I know. So maybe some things to think about for the future. All right. Are you ready? I want to know if you're ready. Because now I'm going to share with you some of the travel deals I have personally curated to share with you on this show. And I think they're really, really good. But I'm curious to see how you feel about that. So without further ado, let's jump in. Now, there's a lot of travel deals around, but of course, what do you do for Labor Day weekend? Now, many of you know, I shared this with on the show of what happened in Maui in the Hawaiian Islands recently, right? The wildfires definitely very, very tragic and has really negatively impacted many people. Many lives were lost, including children as well, on the beautiful island of Maui. Well, for right after and during that time, many locals were persuading people to stay away from Maui because they needed time to, for emergency services. You needed to make sure that they themselves were okay. Well, now, actually, we've been hearing more from the Maui travel board that they're saying, well, considerable amount of income that comes to the islands comes from tourism. And because many people aren't going to Maui, that's not only caused them the need of taking care of one another, but also they're losing revenue. There's a lot of people that are on the island of Maui who really need and depend on income to support their own families, their businesses, and everything in between. So you see a lot of Hawaiian travel businesses who have stepped up. And one of those companies has been Alaska Airlines. Alaska Airlines does fly to Maui, and they're doing a special that as long as you book by, I believe, this week, they're going to offer you 40% off your next flight to Maui between now and October 18th so that you can show your support by visiting local businesses. And if you do this, please do visit local businesses and support them. Donate money if you can't make it and can't go. Um, and other businesses such as a Fairmount, Kailani, and I think a lot of the other hotels as well, they're giving you discounts and they're taking a portion. Some businesses are taking a portion and giving that to people in need in Maui as well. This is something that's really really interesting. In fact, I actually yesterday I found flights available for this weekend. So if you're looking to fly to Maui, you actually could do over Labor Day weekend. The code to do this is Maui 40. That's one word, Maui 40. You need to purchase your tickets by 11:59 p.m. Pacific on August 31st, 2023, which is tomorrow, and you can travel between August 28th, which was not already passed, and and finish traveling by October 18th of 2023. Now, I want to mention that Hawaiian Airlines is also doing their own deal on Maui travel as well, and I do think other airlines will follow. So if there's an airline you prefer to fly, and this is something that you want to do, you want to fly to Maui, I would suggest just doing quick Google search or going to the airline of your choice and and just checking to see if the website has information on that, or even going on Twitter, now X, and seeing if a deal like that exists for the airline of your choice. Now, speaking of good deals, let's say you don't want to fly to Maui because like my husband feels like it's too soon. Like we shouldn't go there yet. We make sure that they can rebuild, and my kids feel that way as well. So we'll probably look at something in the future. But let's say you want to go somewhere else, right? Or you have a trip planned soon, and you have a plus one. This is a great deal. Southwest Airlines is giving away a 2-month companion pass with a purchase of just one round trip ticket or two one-way tickets. Now, you will have to book this really, really fast, but it's a much easier way for you to access Southwest's very popular companion pass deal. So for a limited time, all you need to do is you need to first register on the website. You got to register for this deal. And then you book your flight. You book either one round trip or two one-way tickets. The deadline to do this is going to be August 30th. So again, tomorrow. And with this, then you will be able to take advantage of this offer, secure your pass, and then you can designate a companion to travel with you. And you can travel, your designated companion can fly practically for free when traveling with you, which offers significant savings. Now, I will note this: Southwest Airlines also flies to Hawaii. So, one of the things I've been seeing people do is they might fly somewhere very close. Like, let's say you're here in California, they might fly to Las Vegas, which is usually a very inexpensive flight, or to San Francisco. And then they get their companion pass deal, and then they can start to fly to farther places that tend to be a little bit more expensive, and then your companion would fly virtually free. So in order to do this, you got to make sure that your first flight happens by September 30th, which would then give you a window of time to plan your upcoming trip. And then once you get your pass, then you and your chosen companion can enjoy flights together from January 8th of 2024 all the way to March 8th of 2024. That's pretty cool, right? So it could be a total win-win opportunity. So this is a sort of a limited time promotion, but if you're looking for something fun to do, definitely take a look at that. I think those are some standout travel deals. I want to share that with you. And of course, I thank you so much for being on this show. It's so amazing to have you. And remember, your insights and experiences are so valuable to me. So I want to hear from you. Definitely jump in, do what Vicky's doing, put in comments here. Let me know how you're doing and let me know how I can improve the show and bring you more value. And if this video brought some happiness to your day, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on any of my social media platforms. I'm at Winnie Sun on most of them, or at winniesun.com on Instagram and on Threads. But I love to hear and connect with you there. And a big thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to join you again tomorrow for another live. But if you're looking for full episodes of Love Up with Winnie Sun, remember that you can check out NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, Samsung, LG, and Roku, and many other places. With that, be well. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Oh, and if you're around, don't forget, in just 30 minutes here, join me on Twitter or X and follow hashtag Winnie Sun. We have a really special tweet chat happening today, and then we can talk further and have even more fun. All right? Take care now. Bye-bye.